Hey, how you doing? This is Seiji Hito here to bring you the news. Been technically off for a little bit due to the effect of YouTube taking down live stream 33, right? Literally just stripped that off. I'm like, all right, well, no problem. It stated medical misinformation because I read one comment. One comment. It didn't even say if it was fact or not. Just clearly stated that, hey, I wouldn't be too surprised. But here we are at this moment in time on the Sunday morning. So the first story I got for you is Instagram influencers were caught with 3 million in cocaine packed into a secret compartment of their SUV as they drove through Alabama. So they stated that a pair of Instagram influencers were caught with 3 million in cocaine packed into a secret compartment in their SUV as they drove through Alabama earlier this month. Raquel Marie Dolores Antola, a singer and rapper who goes by the name of Raki on Instagram, where she has 118,000 followers and is a fitness entrepreneur. You have Melissa Dufour, who peddles a clothing line called Sexy Sweats to her more than 10,000 fans, faces a minimum of 10 years behind bars on federal drug charges after the June 1st arrest. Both women claimed that they met up in Miami and then drove heading to Atlanta. They were pulled over on Interstate 110 near Mobile, Alabama for a traffic violation when a canine indicated drugs might be in the vehicle. Cops combed through the black Ford Expedition, allegedly finding several hidden compartments concealing 216 pounds of cocaine packed in 84 bundles. The car had been modified to hide the drugs, with the floor lowered and welded back together to make room for the illicit substances. Recent Instagram posts were littered with comments from those taunting the pair for the charges. So the two women, and this is what it looks like when life comes at you fast. So you got the images of both of the women who are IG influencers or whatever it is, right? These are women that other women follow because they look a certain type of way, right? Because for whatever reason, people out here believe that every woman on Instagram looks the exact same way in real life. Well, you can clearly see that there is some discrepancies. There's some issues with images, and this is why I feel that makeup, in a sense, should be outlawed because this is illegal. This is just ridiculous. This makes no sense, especially the one to the left, because that's a clear cut difference versus what is at the bottom. You got the one up top, maybe looking like, you know, a daughter, and then below is looking like the mom. I'm not sure what exactly is transpiring. Like I said before, makeup, it's a hell of a drug. It is a clear cut, hell of a drug. And this also showcased the fact that no matter how much these women on Instagram state that, oh, I'm a boss chick, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, they're doing some things that are going to get them sent directly to prison. Directly to prison. And these clowns are going directly to prison, jail, prison, whatever it is. They're going to be serving some time. Because nobody told your dumbass to sit up here and be selling and carrying. Nobody told all. But like I said before, and I've told y'all before, we got loads of men out here who have literally walked this trail a great deal of many a miles. So it's baffling to me to see women deciding, out of all the things that women can decide to do, you want to go into a drug trade and you decided that you want to sit up there and start carrying. Who told you? Who told you to do this? And it's like, and you know, the funniest thing is when it comes to stuff like this, somebody will always leave a comment stating that, oh, well, they were probably coerced or forced by a man, you know, to sit up there. Somehow, some way, somebody will inevitably try to blame a man for the reason why it is that their dumbasses were in a car that had been modified so that it can carry all of those drugs in it. Yeah. Yeah, it always happens every single time. Like I said before, this is why, you know, people shouldn't be following a lot of these influencers because they will influence you to do the very wrong things. So this should also answer the question of how is it that these influencers can live such a lavish life? Because you got a lot of them doing some other things that they ain't telling you about. They'll sit up there and flaunt the money. They'll flaunt the car. They'll flaunt the jewelry. They'll flaunt all of these things. They'll even sit up there and specifically more so to women. They'll flaunt a certain body type and say that they're natural or say that they use a waist trainer. And that's not even the case. They sat up there and threw down 10, 15, 20, 25, 50K to sit up there and get their bodies looking like that just so they can still turn around and eat trash and then get on other women telling them that they need to get their bodies up, that they look better than them and all this other like, yo, it's crazy out here. It is real crazy. But like I said before, life comes at you fast. And this is exactly what that looks like. So now we're going to roll directly into a few videos that I actually have for you guys. Let me go back to the yard here. And also, good morning on a Sunday to a lot of people. We got Mr. Yvette in the building. We got Timothy. We got Mr. Goodwin. We got Miss Jones. Just Too Real. We got Prince in the building. What is up? What is up? What's up? We got again. We got Timothy. We got Ali in the building. We got Ty. What is going on? Much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody that is in attendance at this moment in time. Even though it is clear cut telling me that we're having some Wi-Fi issues. Ridiculous. So we're going to go to Elon, and this is just an update for a lot of people so that they can understand what is taking place with certain technologies directly out here.
Region or country was lost connectivity because of a severe, hurricane or floods or fires or tornadoes, earthquakes. There's so many natural disasters, obviously. You would actually still have, even if all the cell towers were taken out, your phone would still work.
Thank you.
Because even if an entire region or country was lost connectivity because of a severe, hurricane or floods or fires or tornadoes, earthquakes. There's so many natural disasters, obviously. You would actually still have, even if all the cell towers were taken out, your phone would still work.
Thank you.
So basically what you were able to hear, let me just clarify. So Elon Musk, so just looking at the image here, it says T-Mobile and SpaceX, coverage above and beyond. So I'm guessing that T-Mobile actually partnered up with SpaceX because what Elon has done, he has about 5,100 satellites, right? He has, as what has been dubbed, a mega constellation of satellites, around the globe that will enable satellite connectivity. So that basically means, let's say a natural disaster happens, right? You got earthquakes, you got tornadoes, you got hurricanes, you got flash floods, right? Anything and everything that can potentially destroy a cell phone tower and or network. Because Elon has decided to throw all of these satellites directly up, right, into the Earth's orbit, you will have satellite connectivity, which means that you will have always up connectivity on your cellular device. So if you need to make an emergency call during one of these instances, like, Florida always gets hit by hurricanes. Some people might not have connectivity. Some people might be in the deep rural, parts of Florida or maybe different areas down south. You will have connectivity. You will be able to reach the people that you need to reach. Maybe it might be 911 or loved ones in a nearby city who are far enough away that they didn't actually get touched. Maybe it's somebody in a whole different state, right? Any which way it works, you will have that connectivity. Now, the funniest thing is, if everything goes completely all to plan, this is going to be a huge problem for other cell phone services because this is going to, make them look like, well, why would I choose your service, Sprint, Verizon, or whoever, over this partnership? Because they'll always have connectivity no matter what happens, but you guys don't have any of that, nor can you give a promise that we're going to be able to have automatic emergency or be able to reach the ones that we need to reach. Like usually once them cell towers are done, once they are down, it's over. Right. So I feel like this is something that is very good. Some people may say that, oh, this is a problem because we don't know what he's going to do with the information that he gets over the cell towers. They sell information and stuff like that. They've been selling information for years. since the Patriot Act and more than likely before. So, for those who may be a little bit wary of this technology and where your information may go, it makes no sense to be worried about it because you're on a cell phone right now that's always on, that's always communicating with any cellular tower. So, if the police or the FBI or the CIA wanted to know specifically where you are, they know exactly where you are because your cell phone just pinged the tower just a few minutes ago. And then on top of that, if they really want to sit up there and find you, they can throw up a van that can spoof and it can grab all of the Wi-Fi information in the area, including cell phone data and information, all into a device, and they can basically track you that way. So again, for anybody that may have a little bit of a concern or worry, need not to worry because the government already knows you. They already know where you are. And if they really wanted to come after you, they could literally at the drop of a hat. So, just saying. Just saying. Um, Ali said, I love you. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Timothy said they'll work until he gets mad about something and said, can one of them just build a Gundam already? Japan already has a Gundam. Timothy, I'm not sure if you've seen it already. Japan already has built a Gundam. If anybody, if like this is one thing I said in a previous live stream. If I had to really place a bet when it dealt with humanity and somebody being able to, in a sense, like save it, coming through with a clutch effort, I'm betting on Japan. I'm betting on Japan because Japan always has like the mindset of like, yo, we're going to be like interstellar. We're going to be intergalactic. We're going to build, robots. we're going to do these things. America didn't have like the mindset of like, yeah, we're going to build Gundams. We're going to find this metal called Gundanium that pretty much earthly type of artillery is not going to be able to pierce. Nah, they were just like, we're fine with tanks, explosions, maybe a few lasers with a railgun on a ship off the coast of California. We're fine with that, right? We're fine with a little bit of sound technology. America's not thinking about Gundams. They're not going to think about this stuff up until it's too late when somebody else already created it. That's how that's going to work. And I know what you're talking about when you were talking about if Elon gets mad. I mean, it is what it is. That's something that is a potentiality, but you got to basically hope that people are in a sense better than that. Um, Elon has gotten mad at a lot of stuff online, and he never shut down Tesla cars. So I look at it like that. I'm just going to look at it like that. But I will say this though: let all of this work out. I promise you, sooner or later, Tesla's going to come out with their own cell phones, and there's going to be a lot of people flocking to those cell phones. Now, I will say this though: on the whole other end, because I am a futurist, I love characters like Tony Stark. I'm looking at this man sort of in the same realm of a Tony Stark, and the reason why I say that is because Tony is a genius type of guy, but his hubris and his ego stops him, impedes him, right? So there was an issue with the Secret Wars. This is going back to like comics. There was an issue in the Secret Wars where you had Skrull invasion. Skrull invasion basically took place. Skrulls are basically green shapeshifters who can take on the form of anybody and also copy powers. And the Skulls inevitably got into Earth, right? They got beyond the defenses of Earth, which were also ran by Tony at the time. He basically had all of Earth's defense, right? And due to the fact that you left this down to one man doing it, it inevitably got compromised. So when, Tony went down or his tech went down, that inevitably meant that the world as a whole was defenseless, right? So I'm saying that to say that the technology that is being presented here is very great, but I also believe in competition. I believe in things being multifaceted, right? Having a multitude of different, securities, just so that if a what if potentiality happens, things can still work. It might not work at full capacity, but things can still work. So hopefully, again, like I said before, you hope that people will plan for the inevitable because you have hackers, because the new war that is going to take place is not really going to be a nuclear one like everybody's really fearing, right? Because that's the main fear that the governments and everybody else wants you to look at. The real warfare is going to happen with, computers. It's going to happen online. This is why, I made sure to try to put a lot of stories up there whenever I can to showcase the people that, this is what is on the horizon. Like if you've never played Cyberpunk or any of these other games, people that are able to hack in the internet, it's a very fragile thing. It's just like whenever people talk about the the electrical system when it deals with the United States. Some people are like, hey, you can just throw a match in that thing and it's going to burn up. And that's the same thing with the internet. The internet is not really as secure as people think that it is. It hasn't been around, for a very long time. It just hasn't. If we were talking about something that's been around for about, 60, 70, 80 to 100, years, that's a little bit different. But even still, then you're going to have your faults, you're going to have your cracks, you're going to have, little areas that people can, directly go into and do whatever. So, like I said before, I very much hope that people will understand what is to come and how these things will transpire. This is why on IG I posted a clip of I put together like a short little clip dealing with Leave the World Behind, right? And it went over quite a few things. Matter of fact, I might play that towards the tail end of the live stream. I might just, put that up there just for the people that did not see it on IG. And if you haven't watched that video, it's a very interesting movie. Some people had, problems and issues with the ending or whatnot or whatever. But the main thing that I would tell people is that you have to pay attention to some of these movies because they will tell you certain types of things. They'll throw little nuggets directly in there. They also have, slight symbolism that was there at the very beginning. For anybody that didn't watch the film, at the very beginning, when you have Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, right? Ethan Hawke is sitting directly in his bed. And I kid you not, Ethan Hawke is sitting in his bed, right? And when you see him, the way that everything is positioned, this is when I told people that everything in movies is positioned for a reason. You start to see the numbers 6, 6, and 6. I said and this was my first time seeing the movie. I spotted that right off the bat. And I was like, wow, I'm like, now why would y'all put that directly in there? I'm like, y'all know that y'all got people always looking for stuff and whatnot or whatever. Why would y'all put that in there? Because again, you got two different things. You got people that will put symbolism directly in there, certain types of meanings in there, and you have other people that will, throw something in there because they know that people are looking for it, and it'll automatically deter them or distract them from the information. So if you got people that are, let's say, Christian or heavily religious, and they see 666 directly somewhere, they're going to be like, oh no, I'm not, I'm out of here. I'm cutting this off. Right. That's going to trigger some people to basically, oh, I'm away from the movie. Right. So, like I said, people got to pay attention to, some of the things directly out here. So let's go directly to the next clip that I got for you guys right here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right, I'll sit here all day.
Me too.
Perfect.
And I get paid.
Good. And you're about to be fired. That's what they're about to
No,
do.
I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Is that mine? Can I get a straw with that, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. She won't budge. I appreciate you. Can I get a receipt as well? What's this dumbass's name on there?
It's not my name on there.
Okay.
But you can see it right here.
All right.
No,
I'll print your receipt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Actually, you can go ahead and refund me.
I won't.
Yes, you
You
will.
got your drink.
There's,
Okay.
there's the fucking
Yeah. Yeah, keep going because I'm going to press charges on you.
Go ahead.
Keep
Go
going.
ahead. Go ahead. Press your charges.
I will. Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it, bitch. Do it. Fucking do it. Press your charges.
Okay, go ahead,
Do
keep
it.
driving so I can get your license plate. You threw something at me. What do you think was going to happen?
Do it.
So this is when I've always stated that the customer is not always right. Now I can't verify, but I saw some comments online stating that the young woman behind the counter was fired, and I'm like, what was she fired for? Because realistically, I saw at least one thing that somebody could be charged for. Number one is the woman driving. She was clearly in the drive-through. She had one hand on the steering wheel and the other hand, she had her cell phone, right? And she was looking at the cell phone while she was recording. Her eyes were not in front of her. Her eyes were not looking forward. So when she was driving forward, somebody could have been coming through that parking lot backing out. Somebody could have been coming from their car in that parking lot and walking directly to a side door. And she could have inevitably hit somebody because she was not paying attention. How it is that, some people don't get charged for things that are being recorded that you can clearly see them doing is completely beyond me. And this is why I told people before, the customer is not always right. Like, this woman started recording. You already know what it was. This woman literally started recording and she's tossing the drinks directly back through the window. And you mean to tell me that supposedly the worker got fired? For what? The worker is not the problem here. It's the customer. She needs to be banned. Take her photo and put it up at all of your establishments and make sure that she is banned at all of them. Like, yo, that's crazy to me. Like I said, and I keep telling people this, make sure to have like a side hustle or something like that, legally, a side hustle. So that just in case your job decides to fire you, because they will fire you. Let a customer act all like this. The job will still sit up there and say that you are the problem. The customer is always right. Oh, well, maybe it's something that you specifically did. Well, you could have vocally handled this a lot differently, right? Jobs and corporations will make up all the excuses in order to make a customer like this, a trifling ass customer like this, happy. And that's ridiculous. No person, this is why I always would tell y'all during live streams and certain videos, like, yo, much love and respect to anybody out here that work customer service. Because I worked in customer service at a point in time. And I told y'all before, it's like, yo, it is a thankless job. Because a lot of y'all out here, and I'm just gonna sit up, I'm being as blanketed as possible. A lot of y'all out here dealing with the general public, y'all ain't shit. And we're just gonna be real. Just gonna be real. And we've all seen it. People need to sit up there and be honest. There's multitude of times that all of us have been in a store and we've seen customers start acting ratchet, out of the way, or highly aggressive with people behind the counter. The person is talking to them very calm. They're trying to help them out. They're trying to do everything possible, but the customer ain't trying to hear it. They want to start cussing people out. They want to start throwing stuff. They want to start causing all of this ruckus and stuff. And then when the manager comes or the higher up, they want to start putting on this whole different tone and then try to make the employee the problem. Like I said, it's crazy. This is why I'm all for robots being here. Because like I said before, people are not going to understand what they got up until it's gone. So allow Elon or whoever to start Japan or China, allow them to start bringing in the robots. I'm all for it because I already know what's going to be missed. I already know exactly what it is, so I'm fine with it. Everybody else don't. So bring in the robots because I want to see somebody start throwing drinks and arguing with a robot. I want to see that happen because you're going to look straight stupid because the robot ain't going to argue back. You just going to look straight stupid, and it's going to show people for exactly who they are. And it's also going to show the world what it is that people in customer service have always had to sit up there and deal with, which is unhinged people that are a part of the public. This woman right here, unhinged. She is a person that should not be around other people. And if she acts like this while being filmed, just imagine how she acts when there are no cameras around and she's in an establishment. Just think how she acts. Think how nasty she is. This is a nasty, despicable human being to sit up there and do something like that. Just Too Real said, heads up, it kicked me off your channel, so I missed some. That's crazy. Timothy said he played, talking back with about Elon, he played with the Ukrainians' emotions with satellites in the beginning of their feud. Hey, like I said, it is what it is. You got to take a risk with everything that you do. So I put it like this. If you happen to make Elon mad, you might have to deal with something, right? So at least you know. So there's a 50-50 chance, right? But if you deal with the United States government, what do you realistically know? If you deal with any other governments out here, what realistically do you know? Historically, we know what the governments have done so far. So at this moment in time, you got to just basically pick which one do you want to sit up there and throw trust in? Do you want to throw trust into something that you technically know what the 50-50 chance is? Or do you want to throw your trust into something that you just don't know? And I'm talking about the United States government. Because historically, they've done a lot of stuff to the American people. Just saying. Just saying. And shout out to YouTube. I'm not sure if y'all going to try to take down this live stream or not. But shout out to whatever bots or people that y'all got watching. So we'll see how long this live stream stays up. We'll see how long this one stays up. Simo said that's funny because scenes from Iron Man were shot at SpaceX. That's dope. I mean, well, that does explain why Elon was in the movie. Timothy said he's not Tony Stark. He's more like a rich Red Skull. Uh, uh, I guess. You know, I guess I would technically give the title to the Red Skull to the United States, but you know. Kid Gravity, what is up? What is up? Said checking in. Tar Heel, what is good? What is up? What is up? Good morning. Good morning. Simo said Battle of the Karens. Timothy says say hello to the new employee sentenced to 6 months employment. Yep. Walter said that's how this world works. That is true. Armageddon says, Seji, would you make me a mod? Well, is something happening? Something going on directly out here in these parts that I'm not seeing. I'm not even sure which channel you coming from. Let me know which channel you come from, because I can't basically see at this moment. So let me know. I give you a minute. So now we're going to go to the next video. Wait, let me see. Which video is this? Okay. So I can actually talk over this one. So this goes back into what I stated earlier to you guys about the first story when we deal with makeup. Let me just play this while I'm talking. So you're looking at this woman here, right? And this is obviously a older Asian woman, right? So she's basically cleaning off her face, getting rid of like the oil. So, you know, her face is pretty much dry, even though she still has some shiny areas there. And you see her clear cut putting on makeup. But as you see her putting on the layers that are directly there, you start to see almost a anti-aging type of transformation. This is why I sit up there and say that dating for a lot of men out here, dating and other stuff like that, it's a little bit of a difficult thing because it's traps. Because you don't know realistically what a woman looks like up until you actually know what a woman actually looks like. And, you know, from certain stories that I've learned about in my past, you've had women that I've heard that were, you know, full-fledged in relationships or married, and they would sleep in their makeup and not allow their significant other to actually see what they look like. So you see, you had a woman that in a sense looked like she was probably 30 or 40, and now she didn't just went down to her 20s, in a sense, like 20 mid to like late 20s. You know, like I said, that's crazy to me. That's literally a whole different person. So look at this. We're going from this face here all the way back down to this face here. Right? Clear cut difference. Clear cut difference. Clear cut difference. Like I said, it's a night and day experience. This is why I said for a lot of guys out there, be very careful because you don't know who it is that you're actually talking to. You're literally talking to two different people. that's the best way I can even place that. You're literally talking to two different women. Like, that's crazy to me. And you have a lot of people out here stating that, you know, a lot of dudes are lying and being fake about their money and their status and stuff like this. But you got women out here lying about how it is that they actually look. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, what are we actually doing here? I'm like, yo, this is completely crazy. So, you know, I don't know. If you got guys out here lying, I guess it matches with what it is that women are presenting, which is a full-fledged lie. Again, look at a woman without makeup and then look at a woman with makeup. Again, look at a lot of these women that are on IG. Look at a lot of these women that are directly on Twitter. Look at a lot of these women who are these influencers. Their whole body and their face is a lie. They didn't did cosmetic surgery. They didn't have breast augmentation. They didn't had a tummy tuck. They didn't got fat taken from their stomach and hips and put directly into their button in different areas. Like I said, there's a lot of chicanery going directly on out here. So it's like I said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is it? Prince said, Seji, I'm on a full troll watch, fam. Do what you do. Do what you do. I got you. I got you. Armageddon said number, I think you saying like number 34, I guess. Fanny G, what is up? What is up? Said, and she looked fine just the way she was. Hey, yeah, but like I said, it is what it is. Some people, you have a lot of people out here that want to try to beat Father Time. Father Time is unbeatable. Madonna at one point in time had whatever surgery that she did, and she was looking younger than her daughter. I'm like, oh my God, this is sorcery. I'm like, how did you pull that off? I'm like, that was looking crazy. But then you keep looking at Madonna and you see everything starting to return back to what is going to return to. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to beat Father Time. It is unbeatable. No matter what you sit up there and do, like, as a woman to get like all this cosmetic surgery, once everything is said and done, your body is going to look like how it's supposed to look. It's not going to stay that way. Archaeologists are not going to be like, oh man, this woman this is such a great find. Look at how great this woman look at her shape. They're going to see you how they naturally saw you. It is what it is. So let's go directly to the next video here. And this one is a bit of a sad and a tragic one. So let's go.
Tragedy. A beautiful bride mowed down on her wedding night by a drunk driver. Now the bride's mom, Lisa Miller, is claiming her daughter was never legally married to the groom. If true, that would make her the beneficiary of what could be a multi-million-dollar estate and not the groom.
I'm not sure what would bring her to actually challenge the validity of her own daughter's marriage in order to get money.
34-year-old Samantha Miller and the love of her life, Eric Hutchinson, were married on a beach in South Carolina last April. She was killed later that night, and he was seriously injured as they rode in a golf cart to an Airbnb. I spoke with his attorney, Patrick Wooten.
The only indication that Ms. Miller lawyers have given for challenging the validity of the marriage is that Sam and Eric didn't have the opportunity to cohabitate or sleep in the same bed after they got married, because of course Sam was tragically killed the night of the wedding. It is crystal clear that you do not have to cohabitate or spend the night together in order to have a valid marriage.
The first hint of the family rift came after 25-year-old Jamie Komorowski appeared in court, charged with vehicular homicide. Lisa Miller wanted Samantha's maiden name to be used and not her married name of Hutchinson.
Samantha's name is Samantha Miller.
The bride.
All right, so we heard that, right? So you had the happy couple, right? So let's go back to the photo, right? So you got the happy couple here, right? On their wedding day, right? Just hours after they'd already got married, they said their I do's and everything like that. They were on their way back to their hotel in a golf cart, right? Because I'm guessing they're still on our premises or however it basically works where they got married. And you had the drunk driver, who was a female, end up inevitably hitting them, right? The husband, I think he suffered broken bones, ribs, things of that nature, and he ended up losing his wife the same day that he said I do, the same day that he was basically holding her, he had her, he kissed her, he looked directly into her eyes, they were sitting up there celebrating, they were still telling like, yo, I love you, and we're gonna have kids and stuff, is the same day he lost her. I couldn't imagine the type of pain that man is going through. I'm pretty sure the pain of losing his wife is more horrendous than the pain that he is suffering with any of the broken bones that he has. He lost her on the same day that he told her, I love you, and we're married. Same day. And then you got the mother coming out of nowhere, deciding that, oh, you're not even really her husband. You guys aren't even really married. Her last name is Miller. And the reason why the mother is doing this is all over money. So let me just go over a little bit of this story here because I have it directly up on the side, right? It states that the groom whose bride was killed by an accused drunk driver. I'm not sure why it says accused when the woman actually did it. She was in court. We clearly saw what her face actually. Let me go back to this because it kills me when it is that they decide that they want to say somebody was accused, right? This is the woman. This is the woman that took his wife's life. There's no accusations there. She actually did it. She was in court. She was the only person there, right? So let's restart. The groom whose bride was killed by a drunk driver on their wedding night is now involved in a legal battle with her mother over the woman's estate and validity of their marriage. Lisa Miller, the mother of Samantha Miller, filed a petition to remove Eric Hutchison as the personal representative of her daughter's estate, citing issues of potential fraud and conflict of interest. Miller's attorney has filed a withdrawn and refiled a motion to intervene in a wrongful death lawsuit Hutchison filed on behalf of Samantha's estate in relation to the fatal crash that also left him with injuries. The estate is expected to earn a large settlement in the lawsuit, which was filed against the driver, Jamie Lee Komorowski, and several local bars accused of serving her alcohol beyond the point of intoxication prior to the crash. Attorneys representing Hutchison referred to Lisa Miller's motion to intervene as morally questionable and legally baseless in a December 1st memo of opposition, acknowledging that South Carolina law states that the spouse is entitled to money and property and is given the role of personal representative of their estate if a married person dies without a will. Quote, Eric has been more than generous with Lisa Miller, who is the mother, offering her half of the money, and she has repaid him by threatening to bring a frivolous challenge to the validity of his marriage. Quote, one would hope that Miss Miller, the mother, would have too much respect for her daughter, for her own daughter, to do that. Lisa Miller claims that she declined the offer due to due to provisions that prohibited her from speaking about the settlement, and stated that her daughter would have wanted her and Hutchison, the husband, to be equal partners following her death. Quote, Eric and I agreed several times that Sam, the daughter, the wife, would want us to do everything together, given we're the two most important people in her life. I never wanted to challenge the validity of the marriage. I never wanted to dishonor Sam, but I feel like Eric is dishonoring my daughter and going against her wishes. Komorowski faces 3 charges of felony DUI resulting in great bodily injury or death and 1 count of reckless homicide in relation to the crash, in which she is accused of drunkenly ramming into a rented Toyota Camry into a car carrying the couple and 2 other passengers hours after their wedding. Police stated that Komorowski was driving about 40 miles per hour over the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit at the time of the crash and smelled of alcohol but refused a field sobriety test. So again, the woman that you see here is not accused. She actually did it. But then, even with all of that taking place and happening, you got this mother, a horrible mother, deciding that she wants to challenge the husband, her son-in-law, over the money. He clearly stated, as her husband, and rightfully so, this is his wife. You are no longer the main priority. You are just a parent. He is the main priority because once you get married, you are now a part of a whole brand new family. This is your family now. You have no rights. You have no legal obligations to try to challenge or go after any type of a money dealing with an estate because it has nothing to do with you. Your daughter has a brand new last name, which is Hutchison. It is not Miller. Miller came from her father. That was before she was married. That was during the time that she was single. She is no longer single. Even after death, she is still married. She is Hutchison. That is his wife. And you're going to sit up there and come from out of the side of your neck thinking that, oh, I see all of this, all of these decisions being made, and I'm not a part of it, and I'm her mother. I gave life directly into her. She's a Miller because I'm a Miller. He has no rights to anything. This is what I be talking about when it deals with like women and money. This is what I be talking about. Her daughter is not even freshly into the ground, and this is what she wants to sit up there and do. You want to challenge this man as if he's trying to like rob or take money directly from you. And as some other people stated, the reality of the situation is the fact that the mother just wants all the money. This is showing you that as a parent, she never really cared about her daughter. And this is also showcasing the fact that a lot of parents out here, a lot of mothers out here ain't shit, because she's an ain't shit mother. For you to sit up there and do this to your daughter who is no longer here, to sit up there and do this to your daughter's husband, crazy. Because all she is just a money gobbler. That's it. That's it. That's all she is. This is what greed looks like. And like I said before, and I keep telling a lot of people out here, a lot of mothers out here, a lot of women out here ain't mothers. A lot of women out here are only having kids and only care about their kids when it deals with money. This is when you start to see a lot of women start pulling up to the same, like, oh, I cared about my child, I cared about my baby. And then they sit up there and collect, that check. Let it be 100 grand, 150, 500. Let it start getting to like the millions. You really going to start to see a lot of women start acting up. Like I said, this woman right here is showing her true self. She's 100% showing her true self. And for any lawyer to basically take a case dealing with that mother, you're trash. 1,000%. 1,000% trash. Because that's crazy. This man is in a hospital. He just lost his wife. He was in the exact same car crash. He was more than likely potentially holding her during that moment, in and out of consciousness. This man got broken bones. This man is hospitalized. And he has to sit up there and deal with this? That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Like I said, I feel sorry for that man. He got to take on, and then on top of that, to make it worse, he offered to split the money directly with the mom. So everybody is winning. No matter the pain that everybody is going through, somebody is still going to be getting something. And the mother's like, no, 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 no. I want all of it. That's crazy. And to sit up there and basically say that that is not her husband, to try to really challenge the marriage like that because they didn't sleep together on the same day that they got, that's crazy to me. Are we in like the 1200s, 1500s? Like, where are we at this moment in time? Once people basically say I do, it is I do. That's it. They married. That is crazy. And then on top of that, you want to try to let's if we're going to be really specific, they were doing stuff before they were even married. So what about all of that? So does that not count? Are we just going to now count that we're going to erase the board on how many times that they had, consensual relations in their relationship, and we're going to say that, oh, this is a brand new thing. So if they didn't basically consummate their marriage when they basically said, after they said their I do's, they're not married, they're not husband and wife. That's crazy to me. That logic right there is crazy. Just think if a man said something like that. Like, oh, you guys ain't really married up until y'all do the do, when y'all got the name, it don't really count. Do you understand like the can of worms that would open up? Like, that sounds horrible. But like I said before, double standards, they are everywhere. And I guess people tend not to pay attention to them. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Timothy says she always told her daughter she can do better. She never liked him. Wow. Yo, Black Lightning, what is up? What is up? Black said, and that mother is a Walt Disney mayhem. Yeah, that's bars. Yo, Vape King, what is up? What is up? Vape said, a bad mother-in-law is never good. That's facts. And said, yeah, that should be fair for everyone to divide it up if he offers. Yeah. And like I said, and he opted to do this. And she was like, I'm not doing it. Like, you can look at her face. Look at his face. Look at her face. And this is why, and again, going back to the previous story that I told y'all before, Father Time is undefeatable. You see Father Time directly in that woman's face. She's trying to do upkeep to match up with the younger woman out here. And it's failing miserably. You can see, like, look at the little, piece on like the little side of the jaw, and it's like, yo, come on, man. Like I said, people just need to be happy with how it is, that they are. Now, again, if we're dealing with something like medically where somebody was like, morbidly obese or something like that, and they've been working out, diet, I understand that. That's cool. You got to do certain things because it's harder to get rid of, weight in other areas. Got that. You may have excess skin because you lost a significant amount of weight because you've been actively working out. You've been actively on a diet. I respect that. No problem. But when you're literally out here trying to cheat the system because you just want to be younger because you feel that way, that's a little bit crazy to me. Like I said, unless somebody is naturally like 60 and they're looking like they're 20, that's cool. No problem. God gave you that. You good. You shouldn't be 60 looking 20 by the hand of, medical science. Like, that's crazy. It's like that's not what it is. Like I said, people used to at a point in time age gracefully and they used to respect that process. Now we're at a point in time where people are afraid of aging, where people don't even want to look their age anymore. That's crazy to me. That's completely crazy. But, like I said before, a lot of mothers out here ain't shit. And this woman right here just proved it. So the next clip that we're going to play for you has to deal with a...
I grew up in Georgia for a decade, and then I fucking moved to Nebraska.
Let me just redo that. Technically, it's a, I guess you could say like an Asian American. She's going to tell you that she was originally born in Thailand. But matter of fact, instead of me explaining, let me allow her to speak so you can understand what's being stated.
First of all, what? Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade. And then I fucking moved to Nebraska. Ain't shit over there, by the way. How the hell y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to sound like? You want me to speak in broken English, bitch? The fuck? Or would you like for me to speak formally to you, sir? Fuck out of here, man.
So you're able to hear that, right? You heard the as I'm going to call it the Aquafina effect, right? We all know who Aquafina is. Aquafina is an Asian American actress, and she not too long ago was called out for her use of a black scent because she is not black. And you had people quite divided online basically stating that, oh, well, yeah, she's not black. I don't know why she sounds like that. She should be using her natural voice. And then you had other people, including black people, basically stating, well, she got black friends. She grew up around black people. So those things happen, right? And I'm like, that don't make sense. Because, I went to school around white people. I wasn't, quote unquote, talking white. I also went to school with people who were Latin. I didn't automatically start speaking Spanish or, have a Latin type of voice, directly to it. A lot of time throughout my life, I've watched anime. I don't automatically have a male anime voice, when I talk. Like I said, it's a little bit weird to me whenever people basically state that the reason I sound like this is because of where I was, and I'm like, yes, that's a little bit of a stretch, kind of, sort of. It's a little bit of a stretch. It's more so of a stretch when it specifically deals with black culture and how it is that black people normally sound, right? So just in case people are a little bit confused on what I'm trying to explain, I'm going to allow you to hear another Asian woman who actually has a black son. So we're going to get directly. Some of y'all might have seen this video, but I'm going to replay it for some of those who have not seen the video.
You to 8 to 9:30, he ain't got that? Shit. No, you're not in the bathroom. No, he ain't in the bathroom here. 2 hours? Hey, shit. Rocky, call me. I've been calling you. I don't know where you at. Shit. That motherfucking ass was probably in the fishes. Shit.
Nobody check messages. You think you went fishing?
I think so.
You know the number to the fish creek? Call the fish creek.
That's crazy. He don't know what the motherfucking ass here.
Call the fish creek.
Jonathan, shut up. That's get on your nerve with that. How I call them goddamn fish creek, Jonathan? You know, that kind of shit get on your nerve with that shit.
So so you were able to hear, right? You clear cut hear the difference, right? And this is a older woman. This is an older Asian woman. Obviously, her husband, um, or whatnot, is black because you can, you see the sun directly in the background, and you hear the woman's accent. Even when she has like that type of accent, you still hear her natural accent, right? Because remember, the young girl, going back to the previous clip, she said that she was born in Thailand. And then she stayed 10 years in one area down south and then moved to a whole nother area. So where is that Taiwanese type of like twang, slang, accent? You're not going to sit up there and tell me that you've been in the area for 10 years, like you didn't grab anything from that. Nothing basically stuck with you. Nothing is there. Like, that's crazy to me. You're not going to tell me that you were there in your own place and you don't basically know none of the dialect. You don't even have like a mixture of anything. All of your whatever you're doing right here, it sounds like that of like some of the black girls, some of the black women directly out here. You got to be kidding me. Like, that's crazy to me. Like I said, that's why, like, when you listen to the older woman, let me roll back over to the older Asian woman. When you sit up there and hear the older Asian woman, ain't nothing about that sounding like offensive or as if she's trying, because you can hear it's like, all right, you know that somebody there is black, right? You know that she's been around black people enough, but her actual accent is still bleeding through. It's a fusion, it's a combination. You go directly to this one directly over here, you're not getting none of that fusion or that combination. If you were to, in a sense, blindfold and have people listen directly to her without her explaining anything, you would have thought that maybe she was like from down south somewhere, maybe like a Florida, or Georgia, somewhere in there, right? But like I said, hey, it is what it is. There's black men right now that are over in some Asian countries, and they've been there for probably 10 years, and they've been vlogging, and they don't sound like none of the Asian men of those countries. They still sound like black men. So again, I'm highly confused when it is that people always want to state, and it's only specifically when it deals with black people. Everybody's like, oh, I sound like this because where I grew up. I sound like this because of where I live. But you got black people all over the world and they don't sound like everybody else. They still sound like they came from America. They still sound like the area that they grew up in, the community that they came from. They still sound like their family. So what's going on here? And like I said, this only specifically happens to black people. Because magically everybody wants to have like this black type of accent, this part of the black culture, the rhythm, the music. They want to have all of that great stuff. That's the moment in time that everybody's like, oh, culture is meant to be shared. And, oh, okay, no problem. Culture's meant to be shared. So let's share the culture where black people are getting abused, misused, and mistreated by the United States government. Let's share that with you too. Let's have what happened in the past happen to you right now. Matter of fact, let's turn it up a notch and have you get shot up the same way that black men get shot up. Let's see if you want to take that on as a cultural aspect. I bet you don't. Notice how everybody not trying to clamor over getting beat up and murdered by the police. Nobody's trying to claim that and say that culture is meant to be shared. But yet when it deals with everything else that's not negative, everybody's like, black people, you need to stop gatekeeping. You need to share your culture. What if everybody else is trying to gatekeep and stop you from being a part of their right? That's the argument that people want to bring up. But again, black people are the only ones that really have to go through this. And then it is also black people that decide that, hey, we see what everybody else is trying to do with somebody else's culture because we see that reflection there. So we're going to jump out on a limb and try to help you guys out with that. And then people of other cultures, shout out to the Jamaicans out there, much love, respect, and appreciation. But you've had some Jamaicans directly out there sitting up there telling black Americans, like, yo, mind your business. We don't have a problem with, white people trying to sharing our culture, having our dialect and speaking like us and all this. We don't have no problem with that. Mind your business. Shout out to the Asians. There have been Asians from different areas that have told black people like, "Yo, mind your business. We don't mind if white people are trying to sound like us and all this other type of stuff and this that and the third." Like I said, this is when I clear cut tell black people, y'all need to stand down and step back. Stop trying to sit up there and defend everybody as if they were black. Stop trying to defend everybody as if they're you, because they're not. Some people are going to see the signs and the symptoms and understand what it is that black people are trying to explain so that it doesn't happen to them. And other people are just going to be oblivious directly to it. No matter how you format it and state it and give them historical context, it's not going to matter. So, yeah, like I said, we clear cut saw two different Asian Americans. We see one that was born in Thailand, doesn't have a lick of dialect, a fusion, a splice of anything, but she directly sounds black. And then we have another Asian American that has a black son, and you hear the fusion, you hear the splice. Even when she gets aggravated and her voice starts to go up, you start to hear that dialect really start to shine, because that's normally what happens. Whenever somebody is from a specific area and they start to really get mad, you'll really start to hear who they are. It'll really start to come up. But like I said, some people will pay attention to it. Some people, will not. So the next one that we're going to go directly to is basically I'm trying to showcase before we get directly into that. I'm not sure if this is Chicago or not. This is just the label that somebody gave it. Again, shout out, much love and appreciation to any and everybody out there in Chicago, and especially shout out to as I would playfully say it, my aunt from Chicago, shown from the Chi. Much love, respect, and appreciation forever. I'm showcasing this video to basically give the fact of why it is that black men, fathers, and father figures are important in the black community, and how the men that are here that are trying to work with these young men, they are doing their damnedest in order to prevent them from going onto the wrong road in life, preventing them from taking the wrong trajectory, because there are a lot of other entities and groups and people out there who are betting against them. So let's just take a look at the video.
Well, I'd like to see you come up here and do one of these problems.
Fuck up talking to me, Mr. Johnson, before I come knock the motherfucking glasses off your face. And that's on my dick or my head.
Didn't I tell you earlier today? I said,
shut the fuck up talking to me.
Markel, I said I do not talk to you that way, and I would appreciate it if you did not talk to me that way.
Shut the fuck up talking to me.
I do not curse at you. Have I ever cursed at you?
Yes.
I have never cursed at you.
Yes, you have.
You know that's not true.
I bet I can put up some problems that you won't even know, Mr. Johnson.
You probably could.
Exactly.
Come on, put some problems on the board.
Fuck that.
I tell you.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Give you
fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, that's my
Get away from your computer.
My tray. Shut the fuck up.
Take the coat off.
That's why you don't know how to do the problem.
Take the coat off. Take the coat off. Take the coat off. I'm asking. You will get it at the end of the day. Take the coat off. Take the coat off. I'm asking you to take the coat off. One more time, Markel. Get it, okay? You gonna get it. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. Don't you gonna get it?
Face up here.
No, hell no. You ain't. If you want to. You ain't going out the room.
Bird. Have a seat.
Break it. Go on, break it. Go on, break it.
Bird.
Go on, break it.
You got 5, 10, 15, 20. You got like 45 minutes. Have a seat.
I'm not. You don't leave this alone. Lock the door.
No.
You break that, you're really going to jail. Move, get away from me.
No.
Get away from me.
No.
Montreal, if I change that number, then you know what to do next time. Montreal, do you know what to do this time? Here, you want to come up here and work it? I said, all we do is substitute values.
What's 6 times 2?
So let me just explain from the perspective of somebody that was raised without a father, right? Single parent. You look at that kid's face, I can see how he's going to be as an adult male if those men aren't specifically in his life to try to put up some type of obstacles and some guards so that he doesn't, go free and roam free and do any and everything that he wants to sit up there and do. You see a lot of anger, you see a lot of hurt, you see a lot of pain, you see a lot of sadness. He wants to sit up there and cry. This is what it looks like. This is why they sit up there and say that it is okay for guys to sit up there and cry. Because a lot of men at this moment in time, the reason why you have a lot of dudes out here that are so angry and so aggressive, because they're still that little kid. It's like when Superman basically told, Bruce that you're still that little kid in Crime Alley trying to save your dead parents from those 2 bullets who took their life. That's Bruce Wayne. That's Batman. Batman is still that little kid still trying to save his parents that are already gone. This kid is going to inevitably be this exact same kid, 30 years old. He's still going to be angry. He's still going to be aggressive. And then a lot of that is going to also stem from fear. And from fear, you're going to have that jealousy and that envy. And then inevitably, he's going to fight. And he's going to inevitably also take somebody's life. And he's also going to be in and out of jail and prison. This is why it is important for, black men to be there. And I'm saying this in a context of just in a positive role model stance. I've had some back and forth with people before basically telling me that, it's unfair to state that black men, all black men should be, responsible for, other people's kids and whatnot or whatever. And I'll say this, and again, because I'm just guessing that everybody else had a 2-parent, home. I came from a single parent home. And when I'm going to sit up there and tell you this, me coming from a single parent home, I didn't have a father. I had, my uncles, the good parts of my uncles, them having a job, being around their kids and stuff like that. I had my neighbors who I've talked about before, Mr. Redmond, who had a garden. He had a whole home. He was married at one moment in time, but his wife, she passed, and he was the main person, that was there. I learned about agriculture, caring about things, right? I had Miss Mac Evans, who was a school teacher to, my mom and my aunt, and I think my other aunts as well. And, I learned about flowers and stuff, from her. I learned about, patience and, and a variety of different things. And she was also stern because, back during that time frame, whenever you saw somebody that was older, you always looked at them as if they were at their strongest, which is like, it's the craziest thing. Right. You automatically had fear of people that were older, than you, even though they weren't actually stronger than you or anything like that. But it was just them being there, them being present. I got my boy Chris and his dad, Mr. Thomas, right? Family man, always been there, always consistently married, always sat up there and held down the same job for decades. Always been taking care of the home, always been working on the home, always been there, right? My boy Ricky, rest in peace to Mr. Satima. His father was always there. He was always consistent. His dad has a voice that you can never ever forget. It was almost like sort of kind of like thunder, and he was stern. always stern. And then I had some of the few, black teachers that I had, male teachers, growing up from, middle school, on up. And I looked at all of these guys and I'm like, yo, I want to emulate the things that I see and respect in these dudes. I want to carry that directly with me so that they are never forgotten, so that I can always have and hold their image. So I can always show that respect. And that's what I did. Because of them and the black men that were not even just trying to be a stepfather or anything, just because they were there, they were present, they actually cared, right? They interacted with me. That changed my whole life. I could have been like my cousin who ended up stealing, his father's car, right? And he stole his father's car because his dad, who was my uncle during the time, was not really giving him the attention that he wanted. So what did he sit up there and do in order to get that attention? He stole his dad's car in order to get his dad to like actually look at him. And that's what this kid is sitting up there doing. He's literally giving all of this energy because he wants attention. It seems like he does not want that attention because he's fighting, he's being combative. On the inside, he is crying. He is yearning for that attention because this is stuff that he has never actually gotten. And then you saw the face of the black man that was there, right? At a point in time, like he has the face like this is actually paining him. This is hurting him to have to actually go through this situation with this boy, because more than likely, what a lot of people are not understanding is that he can more than likely empathize with this young dude because he's more than likely seen it, or he's more than likely lived it, or he's seen his other friends basically have that experience. So it's paining him to go through and having to deal with this situation with this young man because he knows that if he is not there to basically stop him at that door, ain't nothing going to be able to stop him. The only thing that will stop him is jail and prison or the police. He knows that he is the only person keeping that door closed so that he doesn't venture into the outside world and just become all straight reckless and become another news story directly out here, tearing up the community, doing whatnot or whatever. So like I said, much love and respect to the black men that are either fathers, stepfathers, or that are just even present to give some type of interaction to these young black boys out here. Much love, respect, and appreciation, because if it was not if it was not for you, I wouldn't be here. I would be locked up. I would have a record. I would be in and out of jail. I would have never finished high school. I probably would have been ripping and running all throughout this community because, like I told y'all before, I've had many options and opportunities because, as quote unquote the nerd, you know when you hang out with a lot of people. So you know some people that actually sell drugs, you know some people that are actually in gangs, you know some normal people, you know some people that are in between, you know some people that are in and out of jail. You get to know a lot of people. And those influences are actually quite strong depending on the individual and what mental barriers have been set up ahead of time by adults. And luckily, the mental barriers that were actually there helped out. They did not falter. So again, much love, respect, and shout out and appreciation to the black men out there that take the opportunity, that take the initiative. Even though it's not your job, you still sit up there and make it your job. You make it your business because you understand that if you're not there, ain't nobody else going to be there. If you're not there, then very easily he's going to be a statistic. If you're not there, very easily he's going to be in and out of jail and prison or worse. So let's go to some of the comments. We got Fanny G said, can't teach with this going on. That's facts. 6'3", yo, what is up? Good morning. Good morning. Said, what's going on at his home? Facts. DSB said, the way he acted now, he may not make it to adulthood. That is facts. Black Lightning said, what's crazy because I'm pretty sure we had that one stubborn student in our classroom. Yep. Timothy said, fathers can lower the number of incarcerated people and strippers. This is facts. Black Lightning said, much props to the teacher, molded with patience. Facts. Britt, yo, good morning, good morning. Britt said, you definitely could see the hurt in the man's eyes. I felt that before you even said something. It just breaks my heart. I swear it does. Yeah, it hit me too. It's like at certain times when I see these videos, like, it makes me want to cry because I understand it. I understand it from both angles. I understand it from the perspective of the young man, because I was once that young man. I wasn't to that extent. Like I wasn't out here like ripping and running through the streets and and doing all that stuff. I was just doing normal, kid stuff, like just acting stupid. But I understand where he is coming from, because as I got older, I grew a type of resentment and almost potentially a type of hatred for my father. And the main thing I want people to understand is this, and this is real life experience. This is me, talking directly to y'all. In order to actually realistically, hate somebody, I'm talking about hate where it is there. You have to, in a sense, have a type of love for that person. So in order for me to actually have had some type of like animosity and hatred, like that type of heightened last level of emotion about my own father, I had to have some type of love for a person that was not there, and I did. Because that was a person that I always wanted to, be a part of my life. That's why the Will Smith scene from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it always gets me, like, yo, I shed tears. And that's just me being honest. Because seeing Will with Uncle Phil, and his dad is there. He's like, Will sat up there and got his dad the statue and stuff, and his dad was like, all right, it was good, spending time, but I gotta be on the move. I gotta, be on the run. Something came up. And Will was like, oh, that's cool. It's, if you gotta, go, I can just come with you. It's like, it's cool. Like, no matter what his dad was saying, it was like, Will was like, yo, I'm there for you. I'm down. Like, we can just, do this together. And his dad was like, no, I got to do this by myself. He was coming up with all of these other, excuses. And Uncle Phil, he got like tired of it. He was like, you know what? Just go. Just leave. It's cool. I got it. Because Uncle Phil, he been had that for the longest time possible, right? And Will started going through the motions. You started seeing the pain, you started seeing the agony, and then it got to the part of your Uncle Phil, like, why don't he want me? Like, why don't he love me? And you started to see that breakdown. And I know that because I was there. Because what a lot of people don't understand about guys is that for the longest time possible, we always have to deal with our emotions and everything completely by ourselves. Girls and women, they have like, whole therapy sessions. They got other women to talk to. They got their mothers, they got their aunts, they got their great grandmothers, they got their girlfriends and all these other people to sit up there and talk to. Men don't really have anybody to talk to. Because how society is that, get it together. Fix it yourself. Figure it out. So the best way that a lot of guys or young men have to basically figure out their emotions is that they just basically bottle them up, compartmentalize, and shut the fuck up and keep moving. So then sooner or later, they're carrying, just imagine somebody walking down the street and they're carrying 21 crates stacked, fully stacked up to the sky. 21 crates full of empty glass milk bottles. All of those empty glass milk bottles are representatives of their emotions, their feelings all throughout the years. Now, just imagine them walking through the street. It's a busy street. It's looking like New York. People are sitting up there bumping. It's shoulder to shoulder traffic. People are sitting up there tripping and falling and stumbling. He made it through all of that. And then all of a sudden, he hits one step or a crack that he just didn't see, and all of those bottles just shatter and break. What then happens to all of that energy that he had bottled up and compartmentalized? He's going to explode on any and everything that is nearby. Why? Because young men, teenage boys, and grown men don't have room or anything like that to talk about their feelings or their emotions. They're just supposed to deal with it because they're men. They're not supposed to be quote unquote emotional. If you have emotional men out here, that's because they didn't have the chance or the option to actually deal with their emotions when they were growing up. Because you got women out here sitting up there telling men like, "Oh, you need to sit up there and man up. I'm more of a man than you. I'm less emotional than you." I bet you are, because you get to sit up there and cry out whatever you're sitting up there going through, and people will sit up there and support you. When was the last time that you ever seen a man break down and cry, and the whole world stop and stare, and they come up to console and support that man? They don't. When do they do that to young men? They don't. So yeah, so if you got women out here sitting up there saying, "Oh, I'm less emotional than these men," I bet you are, because you get to cry about your shit all the time. You've been able to do that since you were born, and people are going to sit up there and support you. People are going to sit up there and nurture you. Boys and men don't have that. We have to sit in a dark room, and we just have to deal with our emotions and hope that we don't conjure up or create some type of demons while trying to figure out our own way with trying to manage our own emotions from both childhood and whatever the fuck we're dealing with as grown ass men in adulthood. Like I said, I that scene from Fresh Prince, that for me, that is one of the greatest scenes there because it resonates. And I will sit up there and go on a limb to say that it will more than likely resonate with a lot of other guys as well who have been in that situation or who have not had their father directly in their life as well. Because every child is asking themselves like, "Yo, why don't my father want me? Why doesn't he love me? Why isn't he here? Like, what did I do wrong?" And that's the main common thing that a lot of kids say. What did I do wrong? What can I sit up there and fix so that my dad will be here? And at the end of the day, you ain't never do nothing wrong. That was a decision either dealing with him or potentially dealing with your mom or both. It had nothing to do with you. And that's the thing that I think that a lot of men out here need to actually hear. That it's not your fault that your dad was not there. You are not the reason. There were reasons outside of you before you even came into existence that were already established of why it is that he is not there. Like I said, these aren't messages that, you know, um, men should have to, in a sense, hear when they're in their 20s or their 30s. These are messages, no matter how hurtful it is, these are messages that young men should basically hear when they're younger so they can get over that hurt and they can get over that pain. They can start crying that stuff out. They can get all of that anger and stuff out so that they will, you know, be more emotionally balanced so that they are, you know, more set up to deal with the other things in the world. It's a disservice when you have adults, when you have parents out here that don't have honest conversations with their kids. You're doing a disservice and you are very much hurting your kids. It is a very detrimental thing. And again, this is coming from somebody who grew up in a single parent household. It does a lot of damage. So again, I'm not sure if a lot of parents out here feel like, "Oh, I don't really want to, you know, say it because it might make me appear a certain type of way." Well, damn it, then it's going to make you appear a certain type of way. Don't hurt that child because you don't want to sit up there and look a certain type of way to that child. You don't have that right to sit up there and do. You lost all of those rights when you decided to bring that child into this plane of existence by having a consensual relationship with whoever you had a consensual relationship, and that relationship didn't, you know, work out for whatever reason. You don't have the right. It's not about you no more. So again, to, you know, a lot of the mothers out there, start having conversations with your sons, please. It'll save a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. Just taking it from somebody who was once that child. Start talking to your kids. Let them know what the truth is. so that they don't have to go through this situation, so that they don't have to be in these classes, so that they don't have to sit up there and act out in order to get attention from a person that is possibly not even worried about them, not even trying to seek them out. And I put it to another further extent. For and this is not for all of the black men out there. This is specifically dealing with the black men out there that know that you got kids and you just don't want to be around them. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to even put this realistically. Be better, do better. You don't have the right to specifically go out and decide to procreate with somebody else and then just drop off the face of the earth. And then later on, out of 18 years, and this is coming from real life experience, 18 or 19 years, you magically decide to, show up and then have a conversation. And then you decide, that you don't remember your child's voice or anything like that. And then when the child basically calls you for like Father's Day or whatever it is for the first time, you don't even realistically remember the voice. You think that you're in a sense talking to somebody else and you're having a full-fledged conversation. Again, I'm talking to you from life experience, something that I actually went through with my father. I need men out here to be more responsible with themselves and the things that they decide to do. You don't have the right to basically create life and decide to abandon it. You don't have the right to create something and decide that I'm not going to sit up there and be a father. If that's going to be a case, get a vasectomy. At the end of the day, and this is coming from a man talking to other men out here. If you know that you like to go out here and just have sex or do whatever it is that you want to sit up there and do, have a vasectomy. That's quote unquote reversible or whatever it is. It's better than sitting up there, showing up once and then forgetting. Because realistically, thinking back to a lot of stuff, you might as well have not even showed up to begin with. Because usually, when a child wants to have a connection or a bond with a parent, it's like the child is more forgiving than a lot of adults out here. A child will forgive a parent for everything. You sit up there, no matter what abuse or whatever a child has went through, if you tell that child, you know what, I'm different, I'm going to sit up there and do better, I'm sorry, a child will take in all of that and be like, you know what, it's okay, I still love you. Can we just sit up there and go get some ice cream? Can we just go sit up there and watch? A child will actually walk with you as you're trying to sit up there and not only work on and heal yourself, but also heal the relationship between you and that child. And yet you got a lot of adults out here that opt to forego that and not even want to even try. Because like I said before, for me, looking at, my experience and seeing my father for the first time, I was 100% willing to sit up there in the olive branch. I'm like, yo, we can sit up there and do this. We can go, go karting, golf. We could play, some super soakers. And again, this is me being at 19. Throw a football and watch a game. Stuff like that. Stuff that I might not even really be interested in, but I'm like, yo, this would be a great experience for us. This would be, a great bonding experience. That's what I'm thinking mentally, just trying to plan out some stuff for the future. And, I had expectations and inevitably I failed myself because I was expecting the person that was consistent in not being there to actually do the opposite and be consistent in something else, because I saw them being consistent in another relationship. So yeah, a lot of stuff there. So, again, at the end of the day, Much love, respect, and appreciation. A shout out to a lot of the black men um, that are out there being, positive role models, fathers and stepfathers to kids out there. Even though it's not your job, you're out here doing it. Much love, respect, and appreciation to you, because if it was not for you, I wouldn't be here. So let's go to some of the comments directly out here that we got. We got Timothy said, "This is why teachers deserve much, much more pay than they get now, at least double." Timothy also said, "Just saying traveling through a wall cures a lot." That's facts. Black Lightning said, "The teacher could have for real." Wait, the teacher could for real. Yeah, the teacher could for real have a meltdown. And number two, he could quit. Or three, he could put hands on that child. All of those are true. But he opted to do step four, which is just deal with it through patience and perseverance. And that's going to pay off a lot more than, any of the other things. Lawrence Johnson, good morning, says, "Salute King. This is terrible." Prince said, "My grandfather took me as his own after my parents' divorce. My daughter was a vag dad, only wanted daughters, probably so he could get after them. But my grandfather taught me how to treat women." Bars. Prince also said, "And how to act and not act in public." Facts. Pink said, "Morning, what did I miss?" You missed a lot. Mostly is, I've been just, showing off the videos and, and talking and whatnot. I want to say this is probably like the longest conversation that I had, because this is one that is much more, close to home, dealing with the kids and whatnot. And again, we'll see how long these live streams actually stick up after YouTube took down live stream number 33. So we'll see how that works out. Timothy said, "I didn't know what it felt like to be a human until I went to college." Damn. Black said, "The government removing the father from their kingdom really put an impact on his legacy." That's facts as well. Britt said, "Parents need to acknowledge their responsibilities, especially the black single mothers." That is facts. Black Lightness said, "It's more sad because we got a lot of males that can't be men because society want to chase them out with their laws." That's facts as well. Pink said, "Check your DMs." Will do. DC Precise, what is up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me see what we got directly up here. Let me see now, notifications. Gotta go to it's messages. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see what we got. I think I gotta scroll down. Giraffe Manor. Oh, you got the Korean dude singing. Wait, what is this one? Ah. All right, so let me just refresh that. All right, so the next video we got is coming directly by way of Pink. Let me see. We're gonna roll to this. I want to see what people's opinions are on this one. I want to give mine, but I want to see what people want to say about this one. Let me see what we can do. Let me see. All right. So we're gonna go to this real quick and see what he's talking about. So we all heard that, right? So I'm guessing he's down south. He might have a sort of kind of a accent or whatever. Not really sure. You got some people that say, bro just sounds southern. What is that person on? Another person said, people that say this need to spend a good week in the South. Only then will you understand that this is what 90% of people sound like down there. Don't matter what you look like. Another person said, man, I love America. Only in America will you find a Cajun Asian. God bless America. Another person said, I live in Japan. They resemble black culture so closely, and it's natural. Their clubs and bars are fire. Um, the funniest thing about this, Pink, I literally just did a video. Not a video, I just showed two clips. One dealing with this girl here.
What? Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade. And then I fucking moved to Nebraska. Ain't shit over there, by the way. How the hell y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to sound like? You want me to speak in broken English, bitch? The fuck? Or would you like for me to speak formally to you, sir? Fuck out of here, man.
Well, I just realized the whole time that I was actually talking, I was muted. That's a shame. That is a shame. So let me try to regather what it is that I stated. So the funniest thing, Pink, is the fact that I originally covered the woman that you see here. I showed two different videos, right? So you got the Asian man. He was like, "Hey, you know, this is basically how I speak. I'm from down south, whatnot, whatever, yada yada yada." Cool, whatever. So then you had the other girl that I showcased to you. She said she was originally born in Thailand. You can't tell it. You know that she's Asian American, but you can't tell exactly where she was born from because you don't hear a dialect, you don't hear a tone, you don't hear nothing, right? And then she said that she lived 10 years, basically, you know, down south, probably around black people, whatnot, or whatever. And then she moved to like Nebraska, and then she moved back to down south. So I'm like, so you don't have no type of like twang or something from the nation of origin? Nothing. Because if you're American, and you're born in America and then you go over to like somewhere else, you're still going to have a bit of like that American type of like thing there. It's just going to happen. Like I explained to people before, you got black dudes right now living in Asian countries. They're not sounding like Asian men. And they've been over there for like 10, 20, maybe 30 years. They're not over there sounding like Asian men. So it's like, it's funny. And they're literally in the culture. Deep dive. Ain't really nobody else over there that looks like them. They're around the people. Everybody that is there talks in that language of wherever it is that they're in the Asian country. But you don't hear black dudes automatically sounding like those Asian men of those areas. But when it comes to black people being in America, and then other people coming into our areas, magically, automatically, everybody sounds like us. And I'm like, nobody finds that weird. We don't do that when we're over in other people's countries. But everybody magically does that. Our shit, like, that it automatically takes over, it overwrites everything. Really? That's what we're doing? I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. Now, I'll put it to you like this. If you're telling me that somebody who is Asian was all the way raised just specifically around black people, that is it. They never went back home. They don't even know, in a sense, their place of origin like that. They just specifically know black culture, black people, all black everything. All right, I can maybe give something towards that because that's all you know. That's it. You don't know nothing else. You've never been into anything else. Okay. But a lot of the other people that I'm seeing completely, I'm like, no, you're not about to sit up there and tell me that automatically that this is exactly what it. Because let me just case in point, right? Case in point. Let me go to this video here, right? And this is the Asian mother, right?
Might be stopped up. What's wrong with the house phone? You rush a man out of the restaurant.
No, Jonathan, I've been here since 8 o'clock. Look at it, got the 9:30. You to 8 to 9:30, he ain't got there. Shit. No, he not in the bathroom. No, he ain't in the bathroom here. 2 hours? Hey, shit.
So you can hear the accent of the fusion, right? Hold on, let me go back to it.
That motherfucking ass was probably in the fishes, shit.
Nobody checked messages. You think you went fishing?
I think so.
You know the number to the fish creek? Call the fish creek.
That's crazy. He don't know what the motherfucking ass here.
You call the fish creek.
Jonathan, shut up. That's get on your nerve with that. How come got them fish creek, Jonathan?
Now, notice at that point where she started getting mad at her son, where her voice got higher, her accent really started to pull up. It started to really showcase, right? And that's the main thing that I'm sitting up there saying. Like, for me, I'm looking at everybody else and they're from these different areas. Their family more than likely speaks a whole different, because like I said before, a lot of people that say that they speak this way, cool, whatever. But I know your parents don't. I know your family don't. And I know your family back home don't. So for me, this is the only thing that I want to see. I want to see how it is that people are going to speak when they go back to their Asian countries. When they sit up there and visit their grandparents. Like if their grandparents ain't here, I'm talking about if they're going back to like China, if they're going back to Korea, if they're going back to, I want to see how it is that they interact with their own people. What's going to be the tone? How are you going to speak? Because again, people have voices that they put on. Black people have their sophisticated, work voice. Hi, sir. Hey, Brad. How are you doing? How's the cats? I see the car out there. You got a Hellcat now. You're doing a great job. Stupendous. You're looking beautiful out there, Brad. I want to be like you. I see you. All right. Right. You have that type of voice that you use for like corporate and different stuff like that. You don't really have like a tone or anything like that versus the normal things that you say every day. You're more relaxed, you're around your own people, you can sit up there and just shoot the shit, right? Everybody does it. So for people to get online and to act as though they don't have a whole nother voice and a whole nother side that they show when it deals with specifically their people is nonsensical to me. Because let a lot of these Asians go back to their country and they're, acting and talking the way that they do. A lot of the people there are going to be looking at them like they weird. It's like, yo, what are you doing? This is not you. They're going to specific, and like I said, respect to a lot of other coaches out there, because they will tell people exactly what it is. They'll let you, like, yo, what are you doing? So, like, that's how they're going. What are you doing? Right. That's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main, type of look that people are going to sit up there and give. Because like I said before, people want to, put on a whole bunch of stuff. For me, how I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the authenticity of the older Asian woman here. This is her. You obviously know that her son is black, her husband is black, or the father of the son is black, and you can tell that she's been around the black culture for a very long time. You can hear it, but you can also hear her natural native accent that is there. So again, going back to the girl who stated that, okay,
First of all,
let's go back.
what? Yes, I have an accent because I ain't from here. I was born in Thailand, and I grew up in Georgia for a decade.
So she said, yes, I have an accent because I'm not from here. Excuse me? That doesn't make any sense. She was born in Thailand. Nobody in Thailand sounds like that unless they've been sitting up there listening to G Unit or something like that. I mean, even then, you would have a New York accent, type of thing. But you're not going to be born in Thailand automatically sounding like this. That's not how that works. The math is not mathing. Right? The math ain't mathing. But, like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just waiting for, again, I see this dude, he got, 212K likes directly on this video. Again, I want to see black people come up with these same videos. I want to see how many black people are going to give. Let me go back to the guy's video real quick. Let me see if I can highlight that. Right? So we got all of these likes, right? So we can clearly see that 212K likes directly underneath for his comment that he basically stated, right? And then he was stating that if anybody believes that this is not who he is and how he speaks, then they're just plain ignorant. Fine, so be it. No problem with that. Everybody's ignorant or something. All I'm sitting up there saying is I want to see more black people start doing videos like this. I want to see black people that's living in Europe talking about how they lived in America and then they came directly over here and over to, a European country, and now they're just talking, like the Queen of England or some shit. And now, or not automatically, they just talk, Australian, going over there in Australia, or they got an Ireland or a Scottish accent. I want to see black people start doing these videos, and I want to see how many people are going to roll up and start giving them tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of likes on those videos. I promise you, you're not going to see it, because nobody's going to sit up there and believe that black people are going to be sounding like nobody else. Because realistically, again, if you are black and you're coming from America, you go over to a different country, you're not going to automatically have the tone of those people when you are speaking English. You're not. But like I said, everybody want to play games directly out here. Everybody want to play games. Everybody, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me see. Pink sent another video directly up there, so I got to go back. Let me see. Scroll back here. Where did it go? Oh, I can't even play that one because they got music. But Pink sent another one of Korean men singing gospel. Somebody in the a black dude in the comment section. Let me just highlight that. Let me just share this one. How do I put that back up? Right. Let me highlight that. Right. So I can't really play it because music. But a black dude in the comment section, what is this? John. He basically said the gospel and gospel music is not exclusive to African Americans. I'm getting tired of black people saying shit like this. I'm just gonna be honest. And this is not being like ignorant or anything like that. I'm just going to be real. When you think about when black people were doing this gospel back in like the 40s, 50s, and like 60s, like they were sitting up there singing and jamming to like Jesus and whatnot, and they were just doing it in a certain way. What were people doing in Asian countries? Were they specifically, were they the first ones to basically doing this? Have they been doing this for like 4,000 years? Like, no, they weren't. Was anybody else around the world doing it like black Americans? No, they weren't. So it's like, it's crazy to me to sit up there and see black people roll up and sit up there and say like something is not exclusive to black. We created it. The way in which that people are sitting up there going out there now trying to praise God and preach to God. Like, yo, that's all due to the effect of black people. Like I said, I went to a Christian church. I seen Christian, Catholic, and all these. They do not sit up there and get down like that. There is no type of like, rhythm. You're not sitting up there dancing. You're not doing all of that. You're doing that in black churches though. When they start hitting those beats, they start hitting those drums. Some of them might even have a guitar directly in there. When they start hitting a lot of stuff direct, you feeling it because that music is getting to you. Like I said, like, yo, it's crazy out here. Yeah, somebody else has said gospel is not about the color, it's about the struggle in the kingdom. I'm not going to sit up there and totally disagree, but I will sit up there and state this. Go through and start telling a lot of these people to go back to the back of the Bible and read the description of Jesus. And then go to their churches or whatever pictures they got in their house and see what Jesus that they actually worship. I promise you it's not the Jesus that's in the back of that book. But yet you got people in the comment section stating that gospel is not about color. If it's not about color, then you should be fine with Jesus being black. That's what he's described as, right? Right? Hair of wool, skin of bronze, copper, somewhere in there. So, like I said before, you got a lot of people out here that I feel are pretty confused. Pretty confused. And I'm also going to showcase the fact that it's only black people that when you have other people basically mimicking or copying what it is that we do, we are the most loving people when it comes to this. Even if it comes to a detriment of ourselves, we are the most loving and supporting. But then when you decide to do something that deals with somebody else's culture, right? What it is of wherever that they originate from, oh, people got a problem. You have people all over. Oh, you're not Japanese. You're black. You're not Asian. You're black. You're not European. You're black. Like people will sit up there and specifically tell you, like, hey, stay with what it is that you do. This is not for you. People will specifically sit up there and tell you that. And you're not going to have droves of people coming out here trying to defend black people and what it is that they're doing that is from another culture because they love it. They're not going to come out in droves to sit up there and defend that. They're not going to do it. And like I said, the Korean guys, they got 120K likes directly dealing with the video. And like I said, that's cool. They found a way and a method of which that they love that they want to, praise and do. That's cool. But all I'm sitting up there telling people is stop trying to tell black people not to get mad about certain stuff whenever it is that we started off and we've been doing stuff, it was always demonized. It's not realistically looked at in a positive light up until other cultures and other people start doing it. That's when everybody else want to start loving it. So like I said, when you start having a lot of Asians and everybody else start doing rap and they start singing and rapping about the same stuff that black dudes in America been rapping about, everybody going to start loving it. And be like, oh, this some real type of music. I ain't know the Asians be gangbanging. I ain't know the Asians really get down like that. Like, yo, this is some hard, this some real type of music, right? Everybody will sit up there and love it. Russian dudes sitting up there rapping. Everybody will sit up there and love it. But the moment in time that you got black dudes sitting up there rapping about the exact same stuff, people like, man, you trash. That's garbage. You don't got no lyrics. You can't rap about nothing else. That's all y'all sit up there and talk about. But I'm like, but you let somebody else with a different face coming from a different origin start rapping the same stuff. Y'all love it. I'm like, all right. I'm like, just let everybody else just do black culture so that black people can actually love it. And then black people will start actually caring about it and trying to copy that, because that's all I'm seeing at this moment in time. Like, you had women out here trying to copy the Kardashians, but the Kardashians copy black women, but then you have black women trying to copy the Kardashians. It don't make no sense. But like I said, it is what it is. You know, I'm ignorant. You know. Let me go to the next video directly out here. Does it got music? So we're gonna go to this video here. It says that my giraffe manner experience versus other people's experience. So you see the woman here at the table, and you see the giraffe directly right there. Right? So you see the black girl, and the giraffe was just sitting up there, eating directly, from the cup. She's having a good time. And the giraffe just clearly hit that woman on the side of the animals will let people know some stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. The black woman had a whole different experience. I don't know what was going on with that couple. It was obviously something. It was obviously something. That's crazy. Jet Black Travel said, "Is this what it feels like to be God's favorite?" Oh man, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. But last but not least, there's a video that I wanted to bring up, and this is coming from Hollywood. This is by way of a celebrity directly out here. So let's pay very close attention to what it is that he is stating.
People that will and have and will continue to, unfortunately, offer these things. And some of them are your heroes. Some of them are people who you're like, oh yeah, such and such is amazing, and he does this and he does that. Yeah, but he also does this and that. At some point soon, it's gonna have to come out. I've kept one of these on me since 2005. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most predators would check your phone. And once the sexual harassment started, I was like, well, I gotta protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual.
So we heard this, right? So the brother was basically stating that a high-profiled rich man in the industry made sexual advances towards him, and more than likely other men as well. And he, took the precautions of having a device on him that allowed him to, I guess, capture certain, conversations or whatnot or whatever. And this is a conversation that I've seen many times before, even online. And you have guys coming out and basically telling people like, yo, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. And you don't see, fields of people coming up here to try to, be on the side of men, to try to rescue, men or back them up. You don't see that. You don't see that. But what you will see is that when it dealt with Jonathan Majors and the white girl, you saw fields of women basically being on the white girl's side and everybody hating Jonathan Majors. It was sort of like what happened with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. It was just like it was roughly the exact same thing, just flip the colors real quick. Flip the colors. And we found out the type of person that Amber Heard was, correct? And then we also found out who Johnny Depp was and how it is that they were trying to portray Johnny Depp in a bad light. And even still, at this moment in time, Johnny Depp is still trying to get his career, back up and running. All the people that basically, were by his side and all of these things, you didn't really have them saying things online. You didn't really have them coming out to vehemently, defend him. You didn't. But you had the whole world basically on Amber Heard's side. Right? Miss, taking dumps directly on the bed and then blaming the dog. And then, her causing damage to like one of his fingers. On top of the fact she wanted to say, my dog got stung by a bee. and this is an actress. And then on top of that, this woman said that, she is a survivor because she dealt with Johnny Depp, and she spoke to in front of other actual women who survived DV, and she was a fraud. And then we got, again, Jonathan Majors. And the whole world basically hates Jonathan Majors' career, pretty much is dying, right? On life support. And then the video came out where it showed Jonathan Majors running away from this woman. Blocks running. He's a runner, he's a track star. And she was running right after him. Now, that flips the whole narrative of how it is that he was going after her on its head. Because if this dude who is so violent as everybody makes it out to seem is that person, then why would he be running from her? Wouldn't she be running from him? Like she was chasing him down like she was a cop. And he was literally running for his life. And then he brought forth the other video where he, called the police and brought them directly into the home, showed them where she was. And before, he brought them up, he showcased, they showcased the fact that he got like a blanket or whatever to basically, cover her because she was having like whatever nervous breakdown. And he knows and understands that they got body camera. He doesn't want images of her like that being out there. And then even underneath those videos, you still have women saying that, oh, this is what a predator looks like. This is predator one-on-one because I went through it or whatnot or whatever. And people had to tell that woman, like, yo, whatever your experience was, like, yo, it's terrible that happened. But just because you got an experience does not make you an expert. And that was the realest that was the realest comment I ever seen. Because you got a lot of women out here that went through one experience and they automatically feel that experience makes them the top expert in any case known to man. And they can automatically spot this when realistically that's just not how that works. That's not how that works. Not just because you might have did crack once doesn't mean that you're going to be able to spot crackheads that aren't showing signs. And no, that's not how that works. Just because you had alcohol once does not mean that you are now going to be able to spot a working alcoholic. Just because you had sex once doesn't mean that you're going to be out here being able to spot a porn star. That's not how that works. So, again, you got a lot of people out here that want to put their lives and their experiences on another situation. And it's not that. So now we have this. Again, I'm showcasing, going through how it is that nobody comes to the rescue or comes to support and back up men. right? So now we got this actor here, and I've seen him in quite a bit of stuff, and he's basically telling the world, he was like, yo, I have been, touched. I've had men make advances. Very powerful, rich dudes who are in the industry make advances. This is what he is telling people specifically on camera. He is not the first and he is not the last. There's a multitude of dudes who have stated this. There's more than likely rappers, male rappers, who can also attest to this exact same thing, but they're just not going to say nothing because they're supposed to keep up the image of, oh, I'm hard, I'm real, I'm from the streets, I'm from the gutter. Because the moment in time that, again, if a guy comes out and basically says that a dude made advances towards him, people laugh at him. Or in the other extent, when it deals with women, women will be like, well, it's cool that you came out and basically told us what's going on, but you're a man. So you mean to tell me that you didn't protect yourself? You didn't do magically, it's all these stipulations and everything that a dude should be able to do or should have did. Right? Because the funniest thing is when you have people online basically telling that to women, women are like, how could you sit up there and say that to somebody who's going through such a traumatizing experience? You don't know how it is that you're going to react or act in a situation when things like this happen, right? So then you have women putting that exact same logic on a man saying like, oh, well, you're a man, you should have defended yourself. You should have did this, you should have did that. I'm like, I thought it was wrong to basically say that to a victim. Because again, this doesn't have realistically to do with the sex of the individual. This has to do with the fact that this person is a victim. But even when a man is a victim, he's not looked at and treated as a victim. He's still supposed to be a man at the end of the day. And this is also why a lot of young boys and young men don't come out and basically tell their stories, because they'll get looked at like this. And then to the furthest extent, you'll have a lot of women be like, oh, well, it's bad that happened, but I always knew it was something sweet about him. I always knew it was a little sugar there. I always knew that he was probably borderline. Or the furthest and the worst extent of it, oh, he probably liked it. He was probably into it. He's probably on the DL anyway. He probably just needs some money because of his career or whatnot. It'll be all of these things that'll get thrown directly onto men when it is that they want to tell their experiences and what it is that specifically happened to them. Now, just imagine if a man said that to women who went through these types of experiences. Just imagine if men basically said, oh, she probably liked it. She probably actually wanted it. She probably sat up there and begged for it. Just imagine if a man were to have said something like that, how disgusting that would be. But yet, double standard, when women sit up there and do this to men, complete silence. So all I'm learning by going through, all of this stuff is that only one group can actually ever be a victim of these type of occurrences. And it's only women. Women hold the corner, right? Just like going back to the conversation where the black dude wanted to roll up and say that, praising gospel and the way that gospel is done does not specifically belong to black people. All I'm learning is that when it deals with hurt and when it deals with pain, when it deals with being assaulted and going through things like this, women hold the corner on that pain, on being that victim. Nobody else can enter. Nobody else can even be around it. Nobody else can even try to claim it or say that they even went through it. If you do, it's a lie, because it's not anything compared to what it is that women have to sit up there and go through on an everyday basis. Again, this is why guys don't come out and say things. This is exactly why. And then on top of that, how many people are actually going to go out on a limb and believe what it is that he is stating? How many people are actually going to come out and be like and attest to what it is that he is stating as well? Nobody. Even though not too long ago we had Terry Crews, and Terry Crews, that's a big dude. That dude played football. I think it was like for the Chargers at one time or whatnot. That's a big dude, muscle bound dude, heavy. And he was harassed and touched on during a business meeting. Right? And then people clowned him when he basically said that. But again, when it deals with women going through these same things, going through the workforce or maybe going through a club, when women basically say that they were touched on, felt on, or accosted, everybody is stopping and staring. Everybody is empathizing and sympathizing. Everybody is there to back up, support, and protect that woman. But the moment in time that these things happen to a man, nobody. But yet the world is out here telling men, oh, we want y'all to be more open with, y'all feelings and to tell us what's really going on. It's no use in men actually doing this because it's a fabrication. Nobody actually really wants to hear it. They just want you to say something so they can throw it back at you and say that you're not really a man. That's all it is. Because that's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing. So, hopefully this man is protected and he has protection because he went out and basically stated that somebody out there of he knows or whatnot, whatever, he has recordings. Hopefully he has backups. Hopefully he got backups because his best bet is to sit up there and put all of the information out online right now. Don't be trying to wait for no trial. Don't be trying to do this and just put it. Like I said, you say you got recordings, you got all this. Your best bet is to put all the information out because if you don't do it now, it will never get out. And I promise you that. Because we done seen this too many times. How many celebrities have we seen that were about to do tell-alls and write books? And they were about to talk about the industry. And then as soon as they were going to do that tell-all or that memoir or whatever it was, automatically those people, they ceased to exist. Magically, might have been a car crash, might have been drug overdose, somebody might have robbed. Magically, it's some circumstance every single time when it deals with somebody in the entertainment industry about to come out with some information. And nobody finds that suspicious. Huh. Maybe, like I said, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Right? Crazy. Pink said there should be one more video that is up there. I thought I went through all the videos. I might have to highlight that one. Just because. Let me see. Do. All right. Right when I thought that it couldn't get worse. Right when I thought that it couldn't get worse. Let's just look at this real quick, Pink. If anybody's eating breakfast right now, my condolences. We're gonna go to the next screen here. Let me see if I can do that. Right.
Sit down, please. Please just sit down. Please, I beg. Please just sit down. Sit down, please. Please just sit down. Please, I beg. Please just sit down. Sit down.
Woo! Man, oh my God. Jesus Christ. I don't know what to tell you about that. And as somebody said in the comment section, somebody said, and fellas, fellas is why you don't kiss random women in the mouth. That is bars. That is straight facts. Lord, sweet Jesus. That is crazy. That is crazy. I've seen people that were on drugs and they weren't doing that. Yo, oh, and she was really drinking. Oh man. Woo. This is why you also can't eat at everybody's house. because you don't know what people be doing. You don't know what their hygiene is or anything like that. This woman was stone cold in that toilet, just sitting up there drinking that water like it was, out of a fountain. On a hot summer day, she was in there just slurping up the water. I'm like, oh my lord, woo, that's crazy. That is, I think that's enough Instagram for today. Yo, that is insane. There is actually, it's not enough. That's not for Instagram. There is a a post I would actually want to get people's comments on. Right, I'm glad I made sure to redo the what's the name, because that probably would have got me. Let me just make sure how the other photos down below are looking. All right, they look good. So that probably would have got me hit real quick. Let me see. How do I'm trying to minimize this. All right, there we go. So we're going to share this screen on IG real quick. I want to hear some parents' opinions. Anybody that's a guardian, got kids or whatnot. What do you think about this, right? So this woman said, your daughter's turning 14. She isn't active yet. She talks to you about it and says that she is having urges. She asks you for a toy as her birthday present, not a Mattel either. Do you buy it for her? How do you react? Thoughts, right? That's crazy. This is obviously only like a woman's, question, whatever, because there's no way that a daughter would be coming to her father stating any of this type of nonsense at this moment. Would not be doing that. Because you already know how he would be sitting up there acting. We ain't having this conversation, right? Um, One person said, as a father with two girls, I think this is a dope post. I'm sure my daughters would not come to me with this subject, but if they do, I wouldn't know what to say. So, my question for the ladies, how do a father respond if his daughter comes to him with this? Because I would be needing a few shots of liquor and light one up. Yeah, that's facts. Let's see what some people said. Um, Somebody said, I don't know, LOL, take it to her grandmother and let the elders figure it out. Another person said, no, don't, because unless they're progressive, they'll chastise them and put fear of God in them, which is the opposite of what the outcome should be. Dad, if you don't want to address it directly, frankly, you can. But if you don't, take them to I think that's a gyno or a sex therapist to best explain what they're feeling and how to control it. A further convo can be had if you're what? No, bro. No. Who? No. Matter of fact, I'm not doing that because they might be. No, we're not. No. See, no. Firstly, I wouldn't be taking my daughter to any type of women in her family will have her aunts or whatever will have this conversation. Her mother would have this conversation directly with her. We're not going to no therapist where you got some other random adult basically talking to a minor. We're not sitting up there doing it, and especially we're not doing no sex therapist, and we're not going to be dealing with like a guy no sitting up there doing this either. And then on top of that, you're sitting up here telling the dude, the father, that a further conversation can be had if you're accepting of a toy. Who the fuck do you understand how weird that would be for a father? Do you like, yo, the type, like, people who are online, like, are you serious? Are like, yo, why, what what will possess you to even put in the same frame that a father is accepting for a toy for his 14-year-old? What are we doing out here? Where are we? I'm just trying to figure out where are we at in society where this can even be stated online, and it's whatever. And this person got 33 likes. You got to be kidding me right now. No, like, yo, that is not, no, that's weird. That's weird. Like, you're basically in a sense buying a device for your, that's weird. Like I'm that is very weird. Like I don't know how to sit up there and tell people that, or what type of like frame to specifically put that in. That's weird. That's very weird. Like I let me just keep going. Another person said, I don't know what your elders are or were like, but that doesn't apply to me or mine. So, again, my suggestion is to let the elders lead. They are the foundation. These babies are the future. They need it. A person said, do not take your 14-year-old child to a sex therapist or anything of that sort. Please don't listen to the internet foolishness, especially without consulting the mother. Shaking my head. Woman stated, start talking to the women in your life that you and your daughter both trust and respect with a situation like this, and start talking to them about it now. Start to talk through how you feel about it. Start to form your own thoughts and your opinions on it, and bring them, the trusted adults, into the conversation so you can start to see not only who aligns with your parenting style slash opinions on the matter, but who would be willing to say if they were want to talk about this. Call me. Get your village together now. Don't wait until it happens to try and scramble for answers. It's scary and weird. Definitely going to need a drink, but you got this. Just be prepared and calm. Another person, same person said, well, I'm glad yours aren't slash weren't. That's why I have the caveat of progressive. Next time, tag me, since according to you, what I suggested was foolish. What if he doesn't have elders, or they're the Bible thumping fire and brimstone type without real answers? If he's uncomfortable, why wouldn't he go to a licensed resource who can provide the best solutions? Why wouldn't he attempt a comprehensive approach? And if he doesn't want to take his children, he can go alone and return with the answers necessary to now be comfortable with the conversation. Stop being loud and partially wrong. There's more than one way to skin a pig. Like I said, I'm just going to state that I am not in the belief that a father should be buying any type of devices that are meant for grown women for his daughter. I'm not with that at all. If a conversation needs to be had, it's going to be a very difficult conversation. It's going to be a conversation that will never be forgotten, even though you want to sit up there and forget it. Uh, I would rather, in a sense, the parent technically have the conversation, no matter how difficult it is, versus them going to other places. Because at this moment in time, you don't know who these therapists or these adults are, because they can advocate for a whole variety of other things, because it might not even just stop there with these therapists or other adults. They'd be like, oh, well, you have these urges. Do you feel any other urges? How do you actually see yourself? Do you think that you are a girl, or do you feel that you are too spirited? Or, like I said, it'll start going over into some whole other things. So, I would rather, unlike what this person stated before, I would rather the parents have, the conversation. Pink said, I don't have a daughter, but this is a conversation that should be held with a nurse or an OBGYN and the parents. I mean, if you're talking with, like, you're just going, like, as, like, the parents and stuff, y'all just going there just to, try to get the, I guess you could say, consultation. You're trying to get, like, the thought process of what it is that they see. I can see that. For me, I just wouldn't have, like, the child there, because I've seen how doctors basically start getting, when they're speaking to children, they're supposed to be speaking to the parents, but they're speaking more so to the child. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're talking to us, because we are the guard, we are the first wall. You're not going around us and just specifically, talking to the, like I said, for me, I feel a little bit differently about it, because I know how, some of these areas, these doctors would not work. Pink also said, my husband and I recently had a conversation with this about, so it was embarrassing and funny at the same time, but he knows that he can come to us. I mean, I would say that, like, it's different for when it deals with, like, boys. Because there's always been, like, movies and stuff, like, written about it. So people, in a sense, know, right? It's always been like a joke when it deals with, boys and stuff. Even, let's say, like, even when it deals with, like, pets. Like, if you have male pets, you've seen certain things basically transpire, and take place. So, you in a sense have a general sense of, certain things. But I feel like that conversation is a lot easier to have with boys. I can't tell you why, but I just feel like the conversation is a lot easier to just have, and you can, in a sense, make jokes and laugh. When it deals with girls, going through, you can't do that same thing. You got to be very sensitive. You got to be stepping on eggshells, and like I said, you can't treat the situation the same. And then again, how boys are viewed versus how girls are viewed is vastly different. Boys are viewed as, all right, it's a guy going through this. When it's a girl, it's like, oh my God. Parents like, oh God, why me? Why now? What did I do wrong? Why do I gotta have this conversation with my daughter? Why is she like this right now? Lord help me. Jesus, take the wheel. Right? It's that whole type of thing, right? And I get it. Your daughter is very precious to you. She is the most, purest and innocent thing, directly to you. And you're not trying to break that matrix, because it's like now you gotta try to wake up to the realization that she's getting closer and closer to the real world, right? But let's keep going through some of these comments here, right? Another person said, I like this, replying back to one of the comments above. Another one said, also, brother, let me add that elders are not limited to kin. This is why it takes a village. But see, far too many of today's parents fail to understand that, which is why we're where we are today. Another person said, thank you so much for being open, having an empowering conversation. Toys allow you to know your body and will lower chances of her being excited about some teen boys. Please don't listen to the comments saying that only women should talk to him. My God, a father having this talk will impact them deeply. This will set a precedent in the mind. Another dude said, bro, I was about to ask the same question. We girl dads need help. Another person said, talk to the women in your life before this comes up. Listen to them, and you should feel happy that your kids come to you with this. It means you have open doors. LOL. And yes, a shot of liquor. Another woman said, I lived with my dad in high school, and he was pretty cool about a lot of stuff, but I was lucky that I had a good relationship with one of his ex-girlfriends, and that's who I would go to with a lot of stuff. I'm still friends with her to this day. They got more comments under here. Another woman said, for her to come to you, she is coming with love and trust, with your opinion. Talk to her and be as honest as possible. It will save her life and bring you closer together. Don't give this job to someone else because you're afraid to. She's your child. You got this. Get a village of trusted women. Another woman said, think you're in the best position. Let her know. I think you're in the best position to let her know how little respect teenage boys have for female body. The sex is not going to be pleasant for a while, and that boys will not love her just because she give her body over to him. A 14-year-old is not emotionally mature enough for sexual activity. Also, tell her it will hurt the first few times. As a woman who grew up with a dad, we would never come to you about these things. I would never go to my dad about anything sex related. There's varying comments directly in here. Like I said, I'm just on the whole like toy thing that just blew my mind. I'm just like, I'm just, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I don't know. And then some people try to bring up the whole thing. It's like, well, if you don't get a toy now, then you got to worry about later, walking in and seeing her sneak boys. And so, I mean, either which way, it's still bad. Either which way. Like I said, this is a whole different one. Woo! That is a whole different one right there. The best thing I sit up to say is this: if you are a guy and you are raising a daughter or daughters, Godspeed. May the gods be with you. Because again, this is a thought that no father ever wants to even think about, even, when their daughters are like, higher up in age, 20s and 30s. They're still not even trying to like think about that, because that's still their daughter, their baby girl at the end of the day. They're not thinking about them, like they don't even want to be in the same mind frame as like, that whole thing. I don't know. For me, I just feel like it's just that, the part of like buying a device for, that's just weird. That's weird. I guess I feel like I'm the only one. I see women in the comment section on IG basically stating, a little bit differently and stuff. Like I said, maybe it's just me being a guy. I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you. I'm guessing other people didn't really have any input on that either. So I guess people feel, potentially indifferent, directly about it. But that was pretty much the live stream at this moment in time. A good 2 hours and 25 minutes going over. Let me see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and about like 12 different, stories or videos or whatever. So, hopefully you guys, enjoy that. And if anybody would like to, roll through and support the channel, you can do that by way of the links that you see directly in front of you. And you can do that by way of the links that are underneath the live stream video as well. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all folks that came directly through. And like Pink said, hit that like button. Hit it. It ain't nothing wrong with hitting the like button. We need those likes directly out there to get this directly into the algorithm. We gotta get this directly out there. That'd be nice, to have quite a few likes in there. But much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that was a part of the conversation. Underneath the different types of videos, and also my apologies for the previous live stream getting ripped down by way of YouTube, because they wanted to state that there was some medical misinformation in there, even though I didn't medically say that anything was fact when reading a comment that was left there. But it is what it is. We're gonna see what takes place. Black said win the stream, and also said can't wait for your fourth channel. I mean, technically, how many we got right now? Because we're on 2 right now. Then we got the third one, the third channel, which if you don't know about the third channel, you can go over there and subscribe directly to it. We are currently at 700 and something, close to like 800. Close to 800. If you don't get off that table, cat is always on the table. We got about a good 700 plus people directly over there, along with some videos and stuff that I've listed as well. I think that one doesn't really have anything directly on there. It might pretty soon. We'll see. Don't know. We got about 11 people subscribed directly to that one, so shout out to people who subscribe to that one. But anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation for get off the table. Get off the table. My bad. Much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody that was here in attendance. Much love and appreciation to you and yours directly out there. And again, much love and appreciation to all of the Black male role models, the fathers and the stepfathers, for being present in young Black boys and Black men's lives to make sure that they were going to be on a more positive trajectory, to stop them from potentially from being in and out of jail and prison, having a record, or not existing anymore. Because again, without you guys, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't exist. So yeah, that was it. You're free to replay the live stream, I guess, after it ends, and I will see you guys on the next one.